Which brings me to the last part of my share tonight, which is very, very sad. A few years ago, they started in Brooklyn and all over the place for women something called Zumba. I never got up to speak against it. I know a lot from girls and from women in Flatbush go. The woman who runs it, very fine person, she has all the right intentions. I knew it was wrong. The music in Zumba is Goyish, Latin, provocative music. The movements in Zumba are definitely not those of Sari Imeinus. Definitely not those of our grandparents in Europe. They didn't dance like that. The Satan is brilliant. So many women and girls that would never listen to non-Jewish music. That was their line in the sand. He said, how am I going to get Hasidic women, Borough Park women, Williamsburg women, Flatbush women, how am I going to get these women to listen to non-Jewish music? They're not going to. They're not going to put on earphones and listen to non-Jewish music. We're going to create an exercise. We're going to call it exercise. And the only way you can do this exercise is if you listen to the non-Jewish music. You can't do this with Jewish music. There's a girl that tried to make Zumba with Jewish music, and 5 girls showed up the first week, and no girl showed up the next week. Because you can't move that way to Jewish music. Baruch Hashem. So, I, Rabbi Wallerstein, who could have gotten up and made a macha, like my Rebbe says, and protested it publicly, on video, on Torah Anytime, on Kol HaLashon, gotten up and said, you're Jewish women, what are you doing? You want to exercise? You want to lose weight? Go to Lucille Roberts, put on something on your ears, run 6 miles, spin, ride, do whatever you want. But don't go to some place and dance like an animal. Because you have children, and you're a Jewish woman. And Sari Imeinus is based on, look what we just learned tonight. On Tzniut. What are you dancing like an animal? Because there's no men there? So that makes it right? Then you come home, and you sit down after listening to these animals on their music, these Latin, and the garbage that they're singing. You come home, and you do your Chumash homework with your daughter. You sit down and you start translating Rashis with the voice in your ears of these animals and what they're singing. Totally corrupted from within and not knowing it. But the lady who runs it is a very nice lady, so I didn't want to hurt her panasa. So I didn't get up and say what I felt. I kept my mouth shut. And so did many other rabbis. Even though it's totally 100% wrong, I don't care what anybody says. I dare you to put that music on and dance that way at a wedding. Or in front of your Rebbitzin of the shul that you daven in. It's Goyish music, but he sold it. The same way he sold poker. Poker when I was growing up was a dirty game. Today it's a sport. How do you get all the kids and all the young people to play poker? They put it on a channel called ESPN, which is a sports channel, and they made poker a sport. So once poker became a sport, the whole America is playing poker. It used to be a card game that's for lowlifes and mafias and all these guys. Now, ESPN, hockey, basketball, football, baseball, poker. It's on the same channel. So yeah, so the Satan got it in. So cards, I've been up in Kosher Delight on Avenue J, and the kids from school, they're playing poker. When I grew up, are you crazy? Poker's for lowlifes. No, it's a sport. So he sold Latino music, black music, to the frummest women. And they walked out and said, exercise. So last night when I was giving the shit to the boys, the boy says to me, Rebbe, I don't understand. What's wrong with it? They're all women. They're all women, so what's wrong with it? There's no guys there. So I put on a little display. And I said, if there's no problem, so then why don't we just take a bunch of men, right, us guys, in a room like this, no women, put on some black music, right, and start going, yo, what's up, man? Start dancing, jumping, and then, when we finish at 9 o'clock, you know, right, then, Shema, you start davening right afterwards, like, right, there's no girls there watching us. So, like, what's wrong with it? We should have gyms of men with rock and roll music, all jumping like a bunch of monkeys in the jungle, right? With all the non-Jewish music, because you don't see me dancing, and it's not even not tznius for you to watch me dance. Because a girl can watch a guy dance, right? So it's not even a question of not tznius. So like, what's wrong with it? So I'm like, sure, and then right afterwards, I'm going to start learning Gemara. With that in my head. Yo, what's up? Amarav Chanina, yo, what's up? Tana Rabbana, yo, what's up? Right? Sure. That's going to work. What are you out of your mind? I told him, you're crazy? You don't think it affects you? How can it not affect you? I made the mistake. I admit it. I asked Hashem, Chatasi, Avisi, Prashati. I should have given this shir 2 years ago. How many women, how many marriages, how many kids I would have saved from starting their road down the path of non-Jewish music and being provocative and not tznius because of Zumba. I didn't do it because I was weak. Well, let me tell you what happened because I didn't do it. And I think it's a very important lesson for every single person to learn. There comes a time to be a Pinchas. There comes a time to step up and to say what you got to say. So this week, Hashem should forgive me, this week, Sunday night, while we were opening Gal Time, taking 7th and 8th graders, and teaching them Torah, teaching them that they can fly like a butterfly, teaching high school girls that they can fly like a butterfly. Let me tell you what else opened that night. Right here, right in our backyard, right in Marine Park. Nobody tried to close it. Nobody stood outside with placards. I'll have it in a minute. And it's a little bit my fault because I could have stopped it when I stopped Zumba. I would have stopped this. Yitzhar is making sure I don't find it, but I'll find it. Here we go. You ready? So they sent out a text message, and it says the following. Hey, everyone! I'm not going to say her name. Blank, Jewish name. I'm opening a dance and fitness studio. We are having an opening party this Sunday at 7 p.m. to 10. The different teachers will be doing a demonstration, a demo, so you can see what classes are all about. So far, everything seemed to be good. Hip-hop, not so good. Yoga, hip-hotic. I don't know what that is. I don't know what hip-hotic is, but it don't sound good. Belly dancing, tracks, I don't know what that is either, and pole dancing. Women only, casual dress, no heels, come and bring your friends. 1-347-70 blank, pole, P-O-L-E. That's the number on the sign. The lowest form for a woman to dance in the world, in the sleaziest, lowest garbage of the world, is pole dancing. There's nothing lower.
That's what they have in
I'm specifically not saying where they have it. The lowest of the low. How could a Jewish woman in Brooklyn open up a place to invite Jewish frum women to come and dance pole dancing? And the answer is, Wallerstein, you gave the Yetzer Hara a teeny little opening. You allowed Zumba, Zumba will become pole, pole will become prostitution, and you will lose all of your kids. Now, you think the problem is this woman who opened up the place, who says that they're having it in the Olympics because it's gymnastics. Of course it's gymnastics now. Because it's like poker. It became a sport. It's beautiful. Mommy, where were you tonight? Oh, I'm coming back from pole dancing. Can we do our Chumash homework now? Oh, your mother wasn't home last night. Where was she? Pole dancing. Oh, I think we should keep this kid in our school. Now the kid, the mother's like, it's exercise. So this poor girl's growing up, and she's driving in the city, and she sees a sign. It says, pole dancing. She's like, amazing. I could go in there. It's an exercise studio. Except it ain't no exercise studio. Sicker. The Rabbanim don't, it is beyond imagination that someone could advertise and that women went. And she said, Rabbi, do you have a problem with it? Come. We'll show you. But there's nothing wrong with it, idiot. I'm going to come and you're going to show me? And what happens if you're wrong and there is something wrong with it? I'm going to watch you dance on a pole to give you a hashgacha? I have a hashgacha. From who? The Satan? OS? Who's your hashgacha? So where did it come from? It came from not opening our mouth when we should have. You let Zumba, you let me in, says the Satan, I'm going to make this into an exercise. Yeah, it's going to be in the Olympics. So how many Goyish and non-Jewish kids are going to end up thinking that pole dancing is okay, and before you know it, he'll have them pole dancing, and then finish. Goodbye. The whole world is just falling apart. So I said to the boys last night, first I was very upset that they knew what I was talking about. Number one. Nobody asked me any kashas, like, what is that, Rebbe? They're like, what? But what bothers me more is that it's a statement on all of us in this room, on every single one of us that lives in Brooklyn. Because if someone can advertise this and is not scared, that means that they believe that where they live, no one's going to give them a problem. And that there's nothing wrong with it. So it's a statement on all of us that live here. That I could say now it's such an advertisement, I'm not worried to tell you that I'm a caterer for Shabbos, and my cholent is the best cholent because it has pig in it. So I take a big ad and I put out cholent with chazer. If I could put such an ad in the Flatbush Jewish Journal, and I'm not worried about putting such an ad out, that means you're all eating chazer. Because, what am I, nuts? They're going to come to my house and they're going to break my windows. They're going to close my store down. I would never put such an ad there. So that she's able to do this is a statement on all of us. Oh, the rabbis won't say anything. They didn't stop Zumba. That's what she said. Well, they're not going to say anything. The women are not going to say anything. The famous statement the Yitzhak always said, if you don't want to come, don't come. Why are you bothering me? Rabbi Wallerstein, don't send your daughter, don't send your wife. Why are you closing me down? Close you down? Close you down? Well, then they don't know nothing about Monticello. Because there was a place in Monticello, there was a pool hall, and any woman that's in Ornava long enough knows that the guy stood on the top step, and he also said, you don't like it, you don't have to come. You're not closing me down, I own Monticello. 2 days later, that place was shut down, closed forever. Now they sell hangers. Hangers, it's a hanger store. Rus, Shavuos, Malchus Shebemalchus, Mashiach, David HaMelech. Freedom from this gullus is based on Sarah Imeinus, Tzniut. The Satan opened up a place like this in the days between Pesach and Shavuos. In the days of Tzniut, of Tzniut, of Megillas Rus. It's our job to shut it down. It's our job to get up and say, not in my backyard. You want to open it in Harlem? Open it in Harlem. You want to open it in the village? Open it in the village. But not in my backyard where I have Jewish children walking by a storefront that says one something something pole. How dare you open that up in front of my children? It's time that us Jewish women and Jewish men open up our mouth and stop sitting here and just letting everything happen, because we're going to lose the next generation. We lost enough already. It's time to open your mouth, or you'll never see Mashiach, ever. Because Mashiach is based on tznius and chesed. You can't have tznius if you have such a place open in your neighborhood. It's a disgrace. And I was warned. Don't get up and talk about it. They're going to think you're crazy. I said, if I don't talk about it, I got to answer to a higher authority. I still have to answer for Zumba. I'm not answering for this one. Oh, yeah. There used to be a pole. There used to be poles. They were called badim in the Torah. And those poles were used to carry the Aron HaKodesh and the menorah and the shulchan and the mizbeach. Those were the poles that Jewish people knew. Poles that carried the Klei HaKodesh. Now look where we're at. May Hashem have pity on all of us and bring back the poles of the Klei HaKodesh b'mheira. Amen.